I never thought my past as a Navy SEAL would matter once I settled into a quiet suburban neighborhood, but life has a way of throwing curveballs when you least expect it. One ordinary afternoon that passed came roaring back in the ugliest way imaginable. Three guys in tactical vests claiming to be cops marched onto my lawn, and one of them slapped my wife across the face. That was the moment everything changed, because when you hurt the person I love most, you unlock a part of me I usually keep buried deep. That morning started out like any other. My wife Emily was outside watering the roses she's so proud of, and I was in the garage going through some old gear from my service days. She told me later she noticed a black SUV circling the block 3 times before it finally parked across the street. Out stepped 3 men dressed in dark vests with shiny police patches sewn on the kind you could buy at a swap meet. At a glance, maybe they looked legit, but Emily has a sharp eye. No radios, cheap nylon belts, plastic holsters. Real officers don't show up looking like that. The tallest one strutted toward our yard and barked out, "Ma'am, HOA compliance inspection." He held up a badge so fake it might as well have been printed on cardboard. Emily didn't flinch. She asked, "Since when does the HOA hire police officers?" That's when the second guy smirked and said, "We're not hired, lady. We are the law here." My wife, God bless her, told them to leave immediately, reminding them trespassing on private property without cause is a crime. Instead of backing down, the third one stepped closer with his hand resting on a cheap baton. When she pulled out her phone to record them, he slapped it out of her hand, and in the same motion, he slapped her across the face. That sound, her sharp gasp, the thud of the phone on the sidewalk, made my blood boil. I stepped out of the garage and saw her holding her cheek, while these 3 puffed their chests like they ran the world. I walked right up calm but coiled tight and said, "You boys picked the wrong house. You've got 5 seconds to tell me who sent you." The leader smirked, tried to stare me down and said, "The HOA president told us you've been ignoring notices. We're here to make sure you comply." I've stared down warlords halfway across the world. This guy didn't even register. I told Emily to go inside and lock the door, and she didn't argue. She knew what was about to happen. I leaned in close and said low enough that only he could hear, "Touch my wife again, and you won't be walking out of here." They laughed, but it was nervous laughter, the kind that cracks when they realize they're out of their depth. I demanded identification. Real cops have to give it when asked, and these guys refused. That's when I knew they weren't just trespassing. They were impersonating officers, a felony, and I wasn't letting it slide. The leader jabbed a finger at me. "You think you can ignore HOA rules? Your truck, your fence, those so-called service dogs, they all violate the bylaws." I actually chuckled. First of all, I park legally. My fence is within city code. And those dogs, they're protected under the ADA. Second, you're standing here trespassing, impersonating police. That's 10 years in prison if you're lucky. The shortest one snapped back, "You can't threaten us. We'll cuff you right here." He fumbled with a pair of toy-grade cuffs that wouldn't hold a teenager. That was the final straw. I moved before he even knew what hit him. My left hand grabbed his wrist, twisting until the cuffs clattered to the ground, and my right elbow connected with his jaw in a clean strike. He collapsed on the lawn, groaning. The second guy lunged with his baton swinging wild. I sidestepped, caught his arm, and flipped him hard onto the concrete. The sound of him hitting the ground silenced the neighbors who'd started gathering. The leader froze, trying to hold the act together. "You're assaulting officers," he shouted. I stepped so close he could smell the sweat on me and said, "No, I'm stopping 3 criminals from assaulting my wife. Big difference." Right then, Emily reappeared in the doorway, holding her phone, recording everything. She shouted, "I've already called the sheriff." The leader cursed and bolted for the SUV. but I grabbed the back of his vest and slammed him against the hood. He squirmed, but he had no training, just bravado and a stitched-on patch. By the time the deputies arrived, 2 were rolling on the ground, and the 3rd was face down with my knee in his back. The deputies jumped out with guns drawn, shouting, "Hands where we can see them!" I raised mine immediately and stepped back while Emily pointed straight at the imposters. "Those are the guys. They hit me. They claimed to be cops." The deputies tore the vests off, bagged them as evidence, and the truth came spilling out fast. The leader cracked, first admitted they'd been paid cash by the HOA president, a woman named Patricia Graves, to teach us a lesson. That's when it hit me this wasn't random harassment. This was a conspiracy. At the station, their fake uniforms looked even more pathetic under fluorescent lights. They confessed to everything. When deputies asked me if I wanted to press charges, I didn't hesitate. Absolutely. Impersonating officers is a felony, and assaulting my wife is going to cost them. But Patricia wasn't done. That very evening, she filed a lawsuit against me. She claimed I'd used excessive force and damaged the HOA's reputation. Her argument was that her hired thugs were security contractors, and I had overreacted. My attorney nearly laughed when he read the paperwork. "This is a gift," he told me. "We'll counter-sue for harassment, assault, and conspiracy. And since you've got video evidence of everything, this is going to blow up in her face." Court came quickly. On one side sat Patricia, smug in her blazer, whispering frantically to her lawyer. On the other side, Emily squeezed my hand, steady and calm, while our attorney prepared to dismantle their case. The judge asked Patricia's lawyer to speak first. Their argument was flimsy, built on sand, and the moment Emily's video played on the courtroom screen, it collapsed completely. There it was, in high definition, Emily being slapped me, warning them the fake badges, the assault in broad daylight. Every word, every strike, every pathetic attempt to act official, captured in crystal clarity. The judge leaned back, unimpressed. "These men are criminals. And you, Mrs. Graves, hired them. Not only is your lawsuit dismissed, but you're sanctioned for abuse of the legal system." My attorney stood, voice calm but sharp. "Your Honor, we're filing a counterclaim conspiracy to commit assault, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and HOA harassment. My clients deserve restitution." Patricia's face drained of color. The judge brought the gavel down, ordering her personally liable for damages. The HOA board members in the gallery didn't even look at her as they walked out. Her empire of intimidation was collapsing brick by brick. As for the 3 imposters, they were held without bail, staring down multiple felony charges. The sheriff shook my hand after court and said, "Good thing you kept your cool. Most people would have frozen. You probably saved your wife from something much worse." I just held Emily close. Patricia thought she could control us with fear, with lies, with hired muscle. Instead, she lost everything because she underestimated the wrong couple. And maybe that's the lesson here: power built on fear only lasts until someone refuses to be scared anymore. So tell me, what would you have done if 3 fake cops stormed your lawn and went after your family? Do you think I went too far or not far enough? Drop your thoughts in the comments, share your own HOA nightmares, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you think justice was served that day.